OK. The man there, yes, in blue, you say?
Yeah. I take issue with what Jacqui's just said about the fact that she took advice and that was the right thing to do at the time. When my mother died, she left express wishes in her will of certain things that she wanted doing. We followed our advice. We set up some legal constructs to put her wishes into action. Your government changed those rules retrospectively, and it really makes me angry to hear all MPs complaining, well, that was the right thing I did at the time. Well, we did the right thing by our family at the time, but we can't go back in time and change what we put in place. It's now taxed. And it makes me very angry because of that. And I think all politicians of every colour should think long and hard before they put any more legislation in place that acts backwards in time when we, the taxpayers, cannot.
OK. And you were over there. Yes.
Mr Opek speaks about restoring the British public's faith in the political system. I wholly agree. This smells to me of catching my child with his hands in the sweetie jar. We're dancing around the semantics of mistake and advice. When are we going to stop digging and just hold our hands up unequivocally and move on?
OK. And you say at the back there.
Can Jacqui Smith tell us why she feels that she doesn't need to repay the £116,000 that she took from the public purse? She claimed that her first home was her sister's spare bedroom, which is clearly not the truth.
Well,
and if it was done outside in a limited company, we'd be in jail.
Well, I think, firstly, I think Cheryl's absolutely right that if there are MPs that should be investigated by the police, me included, then they should be without fear or favour. Where people are asked to pay back money, as I have been because of the process that we've been through where Thomas Legg has looked at every single one of our receipts and our claims, we should pay it back, and I have done. The reason I wasn't asked to pay back the money with respect to my homes was because the committee said that had I done it the other way around, there was no evidence it would have cost less and may well have cost more. So I didn't actually make money out of it. But all of these, I take the point of people that actually it's not about these details. It is about a system that has fundamentally broken down, which we probably should have seen earlier was the case. And we do need to reform that and move on so that we can get back to doing the job that people elected us to do.
But just on this point, I mean, you did claim £116,000 on the second home allowance on something that wasn't your second home. And I suppose his question is, well, shouldn't you just, in honour, give it back? It doesn't matter that it would have been cheaper if you'd done it the other way.
Interest. And interest on top.
Well, I think, David, I've explained why the committee that looked at my case decided that in those circumstances there wasn't money to be paid back.
You rest on the committee's judgment, not as the gentleman up there was saying, on your own judgment.
No, I accept the committee's judgment. I accept that I did wrong. I apologise. Clearly my judgment was wrong. And what I want to do, as I've said now personally, is not just to say sorry, but actually to do what I can to rebuild people's faith in me, in the job I came into politics to do. And what we need to do is to reform the system.
Well, first of all, to answer the lady's point, I believe that there will be prosecutions, and I believe that some members of Parliament will end up in jail. That's my honest belief. I'm a member of the Standards and Privileges Committee. I hasten to add, I'm not speaking about Jacqui, nor am I about Tony McNulty today. They've done what was asked of them without quibble. Give them their due. But there are other far, far, far worse cases, let me tell you, and I'm ashamed to say that. But in all truth, if you, in any other walk of life, do some of the things some of these people, and I exclude Jacqui, far worse examples of actually putting things down which were beyond belief. Now, if you did that, first of all, as you say, you'd lose your job. Secondly, you'd be prosecuted. Thirdly, probably in jail. Unless and until some of the worst perpetrators are put through that mill, the public will never trust us again. So it's necessary that that would happen.
Who are you talking about?
Well, I'm not going to prejudice a police investigation, but I can assure you that there will be some of them. I'm not going to say anything now because it wouldn't be appropriate.
How many do you think there'll be?
I would say 3 or 4. But can I just go back to the question as well? I gave evidence to the Kelly Commission and I suggested to them do away with the whole allowances, the ACA, all of it, get rid of it. Then you won't need people to attempt to oversee it. You can get rid of that department and let members of Parliament rent or buy as they wish from their own income. That was my belief. He's gone part of the way, and I'm not quibbling about that. But to answer directly the question, should disgraced ministers, so-called, be allowed to go to the House of Lords? Most definitely not. For the last 2 years, I have been pleading with Gordon Brown to allow David Wickley to go to the House of Lords, a man who had support from every political party and crossbenchers, and I've been ignored. So if he can't go there, people of disgrace shouldn't go there.
We've now had both you have suggested that you need to get a big salary, presumably, and then no expenses, and then you could buy and sell and let, all these various things you want to do. What sort of salary are you talking about?
Well, to answer the question...
Let's just get a real idea.
To answer the question, the ACA allowance maximum was about 23 or 24,000. If there were a salary increase in the region of, I don't know, 15 or 16,000, then from that taxed income, people can either rent or buy as they wish.
And do you think it'll happen? Do you think there's any chance
I don't think it'll happen because the political appetite isn't there for it to happen.
But if Kelly is banning mortgage interest claims, stopping you from having a second home because I think your train journey to London is 59 minutes, and if it's within 60 minutes, you won't be able to claim a second home, stopping you employing your husband, I mean, all these things, if they're all accepted, which politicians at the moment are saying they're going to be, how are you going to function without a big salary rise?
I think you've got to accept it. If you look at what the average salary here is in Wales, we're talking about figures that people don't earn in Wales, quite frankly. And yes, we need to have a decent salary, but I don't want to sit in judgment on the size of that salary. I didn't set my salary when I was in the commercial world, neither did I set my pension. It was set for me. I'm quite prepared to accept the same terms and conditions as I did in the commercial world and abide by a senior salaries review board that sets the salary and the terms and conditions of my job.
I tell you, if the public are cross now about this, the idea you get a whopping great pay rise as a result,
all right,
there would be a big
one more point for the man here, and then we must move on. Yeah, you say yes. Yes, you.
I agree with Jacqui Smith that it's important that we just move on from this. It reaches a stage where it's becoming quite tedious, but the point is that she made that to put all the energy in sorting it out, I think, really, I have no faith in the way that it's being sorted out.
That's exactly my concern is any expenses system, unless it's properly scrutinised, is dangerous. Just recognise, and the home truth to the lady who was talking about her husband before, we didn't have scrutiny. You'd go down to the fees office, great people, but their role wasn't defined. And you put an expense in, and they didn't really know whether they were supposed to be a judge of that or just to pay it out and send us the money.
All right,
that was at the heart of the problem.
Thanks so much. And you said, just one last point from you, yes.
Okay.
Let's go quickly, if you will.
Right. Do you think £500 for a kitchen sink or 2 adult movies, it's fair on taxpayer?
Well, I think we've been round this. Do you want to answer?
I think claiming adult movies is wholly wrong, which is why, as soon as it was brought to my attention, I paid back the money, and it should never have happened. And that's why I apologise unreservedly for that.
Right. Let's go on. Let's go on.